We'll be listening 9:38 with John and Amy joining us on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart is here. Good morning, Mr. Sheriff. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, John. I hope you guys are staying warm.
We are. We're doing the best we can. I picked up the New York Times on Sunday and noticed your picture. I thought I recognize him. That's Tom Dart. What's he doing in the New York Times? And it turns out you run America's largest mental health facility. That can't be a good thing.
John, I was a history major. I often mention that it would be one thing if all the great minds from around the country came together and say, now, who it is that we want to have run the largest mental institution in the country? And they said, that history major, he really nailed that one American history class. Let's go after him. No, I mean, the whole thing is so outrageous when you think about it, that you have silently taken away what I think we all agreed was a somewhat thoughtful system, and replaced it with one that couldn't be any worse. And you guys were talking about it yesterday, and you couldn't have been more correct. I mean, this really is rocketing back to the time of Dickens, where you're taking people and throwing them in these jails and prisons and for questionable reasons, and we're all sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, we're a great society. We're doing wonderful things in this day and age." It's like, no, we're right back where Dickens was before.
Well, then help me out. I mean, I have a lot of homeless people that live in our area, and sometimes they go into establishments and they don't want them there, but they don't know who else to call but the police to have them taken out of their stores.
The thing, Amy, that's been we're doing it with my police department, and we're not completely done yet because getting police through in-service training takes a little bit of time, but we have a lot of them through it now. There's a thing called CIT, which is Critical Incident Training, and basically it's a very thoughtful training of police that they do in other jurisdictions that teaches them how to be sort of quasi-mental health type specialists on the street. Nothing crazy. You're not asking someone now, don't be a police officer, be a mental health specialist. No, it shows you how to identify certain things with individuals so that you then, literally, what they do in these other jurisdictions, they put them in the back, they calm them down, they put them in the back of the car, and they drive them to the hospital where they get mental health treatment. They never enter the criminal justice system. Their numbers plummet in those areas as far as the people being dragged in like that, and yet the people in the area then are safe and secure. The person's getting the proper type of treatment. And on the other end, say either people don't do anything, that's bad, obviously, or they pick them up, arrest them, bring them to our place. Frequently, these, because they're for modest crimes at best, they're either released right back to the street with no treatment, or they're housed with me for a period of time where they're getting good treatment, but then they're going back out where there's nothing, and they're going to show up right again at the same establishment, and nothing's changed. And
yesterday,
this is so stupid.
Yeah, it is dumb. We're dumb as a country to do this. You're a good man for pointing it out, I think. Yesterday we talked a bit about, and you touched on this, hospitals. Well, the emergency room also is not an answer because of the cost associated with emergency room treatment for people with mild to moderate mental health issues, nor is jail. Isn't it true, and I hope I got these figures right, it's about $160 a day for an average inmate at Cook County, $160, $170. But you extrapolate that out 2 or 3 times the amount if they have a mental health issue. So not only through a compassion standpoint are we doing the wrong thing, but physically, too, it's just crazy.
Oh, John, I swear, I feel like you've been sitting next to me as I've gone off on my harangue. I always tell people, I go, you can go on the humane side, which I suggest is an important one, thoughtful one, especially when you get to know these folks, because I talk to a lot of them. But then set that aside for a second. Fiscally, this makes no sense. I mean, this is government at its worst. Let's do something, and that's the other part, too, John. Great. We all know this is wrong. We all know that it's fiscally dumb, that we're just literally dumping money in the sewer. Up until about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I can't remember when I started, I used the jail system, and this is how it was throughout the entire country. Most of the country still does this. When someone in the mental health unit gets released, they go out the same door, same time of night or day as a person without mental illness, and then everybody was scratching their head wondering, now why in God's name is he back with us 2 days later, 3 days later? And it's like, well, what did you expect him to do? Hop on the bus and head off to Harvard for finish up his master's degree? surgery or something? I mean, come on. This was government at its worst, where people are just the bureaucrats that all drive us crazy, who just sit there and push their paper, not looking at the numbers, not saying, listen, fiscally, this is really, really dumb, where we can hire case managers with modest caseloads who would be staying on top of these different folks, making sure they have a housing issue addressed, they're staying on their meds. And even if we just expand it, say we're not getting crazier, say if we just go and say instead of he comes back every month, he's coming back every 3 months instead, we've saved the system tons of money. But no one's thinking like that, and we're just dumping money in the sewer.
So until something gets done, if someone comes in with a psychiatric disorder, where do they go? How are they handled?
Amy, here, this is another thing. It's just outrageously sad statement about things. The best place for them to go right now is the jail, because we identify them at the intake. We have them then broken down based on the acuity of what their issues are. Mm-hmm. They get both the medical treatment, they get the counseling treatment they need, depending on what their grade is. I hired the head of CIRMAC's mental health. She ran the entire mental health program for CIRMAC. She's phenomenal. I hired her away from them about 6 months ago. We have literally like the model for the country, what to do when they're in here. I do a discharge plan now for folks where I have NAMI, who is a phenomenal group. They send me videos. When you have mental illness in the jail, I don't just release you to the street. I drop you to a different unit. We play the video for you. We have someone talk to you about what you're going to be facing. We give you a card in case you go through crisis. We contact family members to see if they'll come pick you up. And that, everyone tells me, this is the greatest place. You talk to the detainees, a lot of them don't want to leave, not because I'm spoiling them. It's because they're getting their meds.
I noticed you have a tremendous chess club there.
Oh, my God. Yes, it is. It really is. It's gotten bigger, too, John. And actually, it's funny you should say that. When I was over in our mental health unit the other day, two of these guys were going at it playing chess, and they were blowing me away because I play little. My son's much better than me, and it gets somewhat embarrassing right now. But I'm sitting there watching these two guys going at it. They were so good at chess. And I said to them, have you guys ever had lessons? And I was like, no, I've been doing lessons in the non-mental health unit, so I'm going to try the lessons in the mental health unit now, too.
Great.
But there's some great people in there who just need a little bit of help, and with that, we can do some good things.
I know what we have to do as a nation, not only as a city and a county, but really as a nation. We're so against putting people in asylums. We hate that word. But you know what? We have to go back. That system was a better system, went out of vogue for reasons of, I think, political correctness 40, 50 years ago. We have to take a hard look at using our facilities in a different manner. There's no reason to put the mentally ill in jails unless they are a danger to the rest of us on a regular basis.
John, you sure? We have to have the entire spectrum available to us, because there are people that when their case is over and I'm supposed to release them, then I have to release them. They are so acute, I can't just put them on the street. And that's what we used to do. We just go right out in the street. I'm now driving them down the street to either Mount Sinai or Stroger to have them committed because they're still so sick, but they can only keep them for a short period of time, and then they're going back out into the street, and they are so acute. Yeah. And you're like, well, this makes no sense. This is really dumb, guys.
Dumb. Well, it was a nice profile in the weekend paper. Thank you for your time this morning, and good luck.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for the discussion, because this is so important. There are very few people take an interest in important stuff. I cannot thank you guys enough.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. That's Tom Dark, Cook County Sheriff, on our Turnkey.pro answer line.